Hey folks, it's Healy. It is just after 4 o'clock on October 17th, it's Thursday, and a little bit of a change in scenery. We're down at Station 3, and we're going to do some work on the truck because today is about to be a very bittersweet moment for me in the history of this truck. Now, as many know, I have the completely restored Aerodynic 24EAH on the roof, and I love how it looks. It moves traffic like you wouldn't believe, but unfortunately I have come to the decision of taking it out of service and just letting it go into retirement peacefully. Now, the reason I'm doing this is, as I may have mentioned in previous videos, and if anybody else has talked to me in person, I've told them about it. It has a problem where the rotators aren't spinning freely enough. So what's happening is the motor is putting too much strain on the little white worm gear that is near unobtainium, and it's screwing up the gears, or the lights are skipping. I actually had a gear fail on me one time when I was sitting blocking traffic, and that was not a fun day. Good thing I had wired it in a way that I could turn the rotators off and still have lights on. But you know, every time I turn this bar on, I am in constant fear that the drivetrain's going to fail again, and I'm going to run out of parts to fix it. You know, like I said, the worm gears are nearly impossible to find. There's a guy that made them, or that made reproductions of them from a slightly sturdier material for $45 a piece. I can't keep going through $45 every time this thing freezes up and fails. So it is painful to say this, but today is the last day the Aerodynic will be on the truck. I actually just got done coming to a call, so it got one last hurrah before its replacement, or its successor I should say, goes on to the truck. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start disassembling it. I don't really have a way to hold the camera up and disassemble it at the same time, but I'll try and pause the video, and I'm actually going to try editing this one with Windows Movie Maker, so maybe I'll have some transitions, some music in the background. Not exactly sure, but we'll see how we can make this work. So see you in a bit. Alright, so I've got all the tools I'm going to need for this job. I am missing a few things that I'm going to have to go get at some point, but I'm going to at least get the new bar mounted first. I am deliberately not going to tell you what it is until it's on there. But I will say, it's going to be quite shocking. So anyway, the only tools I'm going to need for this are, I'm going to need a 3/4 inch wrench to put the new bar on, 1/2 inch wrench to take the old bar off, crimpers and wire strippers. I use a pair of flush cuts for wire cutting occasionally. I find it's a little easier to control and it's not as stiff. And a whole ton of butt connectors. Unfortunately, I only have 4. I'm going to need a lot more than that. I think I might actually have enough quick disconnects in here that I might make something work. But if I can get the toolbox flipped around. Yeah. See, I have a ton of 16, 14 gauge quick disconnects, so I might just go ahead and use those and maybe have enough between these and these to make it work. So, oh, the other tool I'm going to need, which is a big hint as to what I'm doing, is I'm going to need my laptop. So, big hint as to what I'm doing with that. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and jump on top of the truck. And first thing we're going to do is I got to clip all of my zip ties, which I'm going to have to replace these two. These are just holding the control cable on. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to find the end of the cable, or at least where the control cable from the light bar stops and my wiring harness starts. Oh boy. Everything's all wet. It's been monsooning here nonstop. Okay. So now that we got all that, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut everything. I don't need anything from the bar. Okay, that's actually gonna be a big tool job. So, and under normal circumstances, if I didn't already have a bar on this truck, I would have to run all this wiring, but because all the wires are already there, I don't need to do that. So it's kind of a win-win for me. All right, now that's free. I'm gonna take my 1/2 inch. You see the bolt right there. All I have to do is just loosen it up. There's not a whole lot of bite on this, so that's actually another reason why I was kind of worried about it. Oop, just kicked out the 8-foot whip. That's actually another reason why I was worried about it, is there's not a whole lot of bite. Ow. Well, there's not as much thread left on the, come on. Oh, now my wrench is stuck. There we go. All right. So that's free. Now all I have to do, which I'm gonna try and prop the camera up for this part, is I just have to lift the bar off and that's it. That's all I have to do for removal for the Aerodynic. You've given me a lot of headaches and looked beautiful. When I went to a car accident a couple days ago, and one of our other guys was coming up through an intersection at the same time I was going through it, and he said truck looked beautiful going through with the Aerodynic on, and I really love that he said that because his car has all LEDs in it, so I was kind of laughing at him. But anyway, so I'm gonna lift this off and we'll get the new bar on. So that's it. The old bar is off. I'm gonna go ahead and get the new bar out. You can kind of see it in the back window. So without further delay, let's get that on there. All right, we got the new bar on. I still need to run all the wiring for it, but I just want to show you how it looks at this point and kind of talk about it a little bit. So, drum roll please. Ta-da! I know, cheesy, but whatever. So, this is the new bar. This is a Whelen Liberty 2 Solo Wecan bar. Now, let me break that down for you. Whelen, obviously manufacturer. Liberty 2 model. Second generation of the Liberty. Most people remember the Liberty as the one that looked kind of like just a chopped down edge. That was all 500 series LEDs, similar to these little suckers. The Wecan is computer control. That's why I need my laptop. You can control this light bar from it's called a universal power point. I think I have the box right here. So basically, you plug your communication wires into here from the bar, and then these run to your switchboard. And you can use this port right here to hook up to a computer, and you can program your flash patterns, power levels, brightness, you know, what does when you tell it to. And it's just an unrivaled level of control that, you know, I've never actually had. most of my wires were just 12 volt and done. So this is a whole new level of sophistication for me. The reason I chose this particular bar, which is actually going to be surprising, is this is the similar quotation mark style that the new New York State police cars are getting. The state, when they couldn't get the Liberty 1s anymore, they opted for the Liberty 2 centers, 48 inch for the regular cars, and then they're getting Freedom 4 52 inch or 55 inch for the larger vehicles. But they have it set up basically like this, where it's the corner, inboard module, takedown, center head, and then reciprocated on the other side. Now, the difference between my bar and a state bar is, well, obviously mine's blue. Mine is solid amber in the back. And the center light, instead of being a regular IW type LED, which is what the rest of the bar uses, I have a regular 500 series strobe light. Trying to focus a little bit. It's not working. There it goes. So that's just a regular Whelen 500 strobe light, like what's in my dash light. So, things I'm going to do. Well, obviously I'm going to finish with the wiring first, because the wiring for this bar is, there's 3 harnesses. There's the main power harness, which is this big 10 gauge mother. There's the communication wires. So these 2 sets of wires go into the universal control point, red to red, black to black. Then these 2 are the actual communication wires. And then this white one is just shield. So that's all there is for wiring. And then, like I said, everything else, all 18 inputs are controlled by this little box. And I use this harness to make everything work. So how does this play into it? Well, the way I'm going to wire this is I already have a bunch of wires coming out from the last bar. So I already have 5 wires from the last bar, and that's really all I need at this point. So my yellow wire is going to be my yellow lights in the back for right now. Black is ground. Red, in this case, will go to whatever the main flash pattern is for the bar, because there's separate power and ground that I'm going to run in off of that. And this is just going to go back to the control board. Orange and green are going to be the alleys, and yellow, I already said yellow is going to be the rear flashers. So the things I'm going to have to do, I'm obviously going to have to make a part star run to finish wiring this bar completely. But what I am going to do is, basically I'm going to try setting it up like Squad 6 outside, where it's going to be, the back is going to be on in the first position, and then the back plus the grill lights and maybe 2 of the front flashers, and then the third position is going to be Blaze of Glory. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do for patterns yet, but in the meantime, I'm going to finish wiring this up as best I can, and then I'm going to go make a parts store run, because even though I got most of the parts I needed, I just realized I needed some more wire, and basically I just need more wire, because I don't have enough, or at least I don't have the right color, because I'm trying to color code everything and not just half throw this thing together. So with that, keep watching, and we'll see where this goes from here. All right, so I got all the wires routed in. Apparently it's been a while since I worked with a Whelen product, because I completely forgot that most of their cables come out on the passenger side. So the way I have it working is, wire goes down, it goes through that pillar there with the silver duct tape on it. That silver duct tape is just standing in for zip ties because I don't have any at the moment. And it goes down, it doesn't go into the cab, it goes between the cab and the box, through here, down, goes into the cab through a factory grommet where I had all the other wires going. And then the big positive and negative, that's going up front. I still have to finish hooking that up. And then this will be ignition sense. Yeah, this will be ignition sense. This red one here. This will go to ground. This will get hooked up to that third position on the power connector that I don't know what it does. I believe they said it was shield. And then these are my communication wires to the bar. So aside from some light wiring that I'm gonna have to do to get the rest of the bar up and running, it's done. So I'm gonna get back to wiring, go make a parts run so that way I can get some wires and finish wiring this thing up, and then I'll get on the computer and program it. So we're almost there. A couple more minutes. All right, so I got the wiring for the most part done, as I can get it. Everything's hooked up. Now, I already looked at the PowerPoint earlier before I even took the bar apart, and I figured out which wire did the cruise lights, because that's a standard feature these things do. And I have that hooked up, which conveniently, that's supposed to be my right alley light. So let's go ahead and give her a try. Whoa! That's okay. That's not actually supposed to do that, but that's still kind of cool. That's what it was supposed to do, it's just cruise lights. But the fact that it works is kind of good too. So, alright, that means now I gotta go through and open up the bar, at least on the computer end of it, and program it. So, yeah. Next time you see this thing, it'll be completely done and programmed. Alright, so I've got the bar mostly programmed for what I want it to do. I'm still having a hard time getting the center strobe to work, but I'm not really too worried about it because I technically can't have white to the front anyway, which I'm going to blatantly disregard because my takedowns flash. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on to what it's got. I'm going to be totally cheesy and turn some music on while I'm at it. Alright, so now that I'm done being totally corny, here's the bar as it sits. This is what's going to be position 3. This is what's already hooked up as position 3 in the switch, so I'm just going to leave it alone. I was going to go for a crazy pattern like Action Flash, but to be perfectly honest, there's just no reason for it. So, besides, I'm actually going to try and work on doing a slower pattern because, well, again, there's no reason for having all that craziness when you're parked on the side of the road, and it's actually more distracting to drivers than it is not. So, anyway, that is going to do it for this video because I need to start putting stuff away, put everything back together, and go get the rest of the parts I need. But this is the bar as it sits, Whale and Liberty 2. That's what it looks like on the truck. It actually looks really good. A while ago I put the Edge 9622 on and I hated how it looked, but this looks slick. So, thanks for watching, thanks for sticking with me through all this, and like the video if you want to see more, comment, ask me questions, I usually answer pretty fast, and best of all, if you see the video and you like what you see, and you want to see me do other crazy and wacky stuff, subscribe to the channel.